Hey everyone!
As you can see, we're at a lovely campfire, and today
Beat her with the sandal. Beat her with the sandal.
So on today's video, we're going to give you scary campfire stories. Well, sort of scary.
Once upon a time, there was a lovely girl with lovely hair and a lovely life. You know, just lovely everything. And she went to a school she'd never been to before because apparently she lived in this place now. And then she started running for no reason. This girl doesn't even run. Like, why are you running? And then these people just randomly came in and started killing everybody.
Is this ISIS?
Yes. And then she went home. Somehow she escaped. A leopard started chasing her and it bit her face, but somehow it didn't leave a mark.
Oh.
And then she goes home, the power goes off, and then she looks out the window, and ISIS is killing everybody at the street. And somehow she still has text messaging to her dad, and she fits all her friends in this house. Somehow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, next.
Mine! Okay. Alright. This piece is titled French Fries. I can't get over that. Okay. Stop, Jenna! Okay, this is titled French Fries. Listen, because it's amazing, okay? In a small town, there was a popular fast food restaurant.
McDonald's.
The owner was a working man, but he had a son named Derek. Jenna!
I call it McDonald's.
Okay. In a small town, there was a very popular fast food restaurant. The owner was a hard-working man, but he had a son named Derek who was very lazy. The father was short of staff, so he hired his son to work for the summer. One evening, Derek's father was called away on a business trip, so he had to leave Derek in charge of the restaurant. His father left French fries in the deep fryer, and as he was leaving, he warned Derek to check the fries. But being as lazy as Derek is, he soon forgot about checking the fries. Suddenly, the phone rang, and when Derek answered it, a creepy voice said,
"Have you checked the fries?"
Derek thought it was his father checking up on him, so he said everything was just fine and hung up without checking the French fries. A few minutes later, the phone rang and a creepy voice said,
"When are you going to check those fries?"
Derek laughed and hung up again. A few minutes later, the phone rang for a third time, and a creepy voice said,
"I strongly advise you check those fries."
Derek decided he better check on the fries, so he lifted the pan out of the deep fryer and suddenly he screamed and recoiled in horror. Instead of the French fries, it was his father's severed head. Worse still, it was only half fried. Even worse, there was a note attached to it that read, "I told you to check those fries."
Okay. Now,
Jenna. At the end of a long dark road is a long dark path. At the end of a long dark path is a lone dark house. And the lone dark house has a single dark door. Behind the single dark door is a long dark hall. At the end of the long dark hall are some long tall dark stairs. At the top of the tall dark stairs at the top of the tall dark stairs is a long dark balcony. At the end of the long dark balcony is a big dark room. In the big dark room is a big dark closet. And
What's up?
no, shh. In the big dark closet is a big dark door. Behind the big dark door are some steep dark stairs. At the top, my computer turned off. Okay. At the top of the steep dark stairs is a dark dusty attic. In the dark dusty attic is a big dark chest. In the big dark chest
attic is like bags
is a small dark box. And in the small dark box is a pink jelly bean.
The best story ever.
So now for a story that's somewhat scary. So this story is called The Talking Doll, and The Talking Doll is a scary tale about an old woman who loves dolls and a young woman who hates them. There was an old couple who had hired a new maid to help around their house. The wife had a huge doll collection, and the maid was expected to dust them once a week. So once a week, the maid walked into the room where the dolls were stored and looked at them in disgust. She hated dolls. While she was dusting, she came across a particularly strange doll. It was a talking doll, and it had a cord in the back. The maid was interested and pulled the cord. The doll said,
Hello.
The maid pulled the cord again.
I love you, Mama,
said the doll. The maid put back the doll and continued cleaning. A few weeks later, while dusting off the dolls, the maid accidentally knocked a doll over. It shattered as soon as it hit the ground. The old woman heard the sound and went to investigate. While she walked into her room and saw the shattered doll, a very sad look came across her face. The maid saw this quickly and said, "I'm really sorry and didn't mean to break her. I won't do it again." The old woman looked down at her sad, broken doll and told the maid that she could only keep her job if she promised to be extra careful around the dolls. The maid agreed. The next day, the old couple left the maid alone while they went out to run for some errands. The maid was in such a bad mood that she neglected to do her job. While she was sitting in the kitchen enjoying some of the couple's fancy hot chocolate, the maid thought of a vicious idea. She slowly made her way into the room where the dolls were kept. She thought for a moment about how the old woman was sad about her broken doll. The maid picked up a doll and said,
"She must really love these dolls,"
and threw the doll on the floor. It shattered and the maid smiled. She loved the feeling of breaking dolls. Something about the shattering sound pleased her. She threw more and more dolls on the floor. She was still in her doll-killing rage when the old couple came through the door. The old woman ran to her broken dolls. She looked up at the maid with a baleful expression and asked,
"What are you doing?"
The husband, seeing his wife so upset, immediately told the maid she was fired. The maid collected her things and left in an even worse mood before. She was so angry that later that night, she snuck back in the old couple's home. Knowing that they would be sound asleep, she crept into the kitchen, found the biggest knife she could, and made her way to the bedroom. The next morning, the maid returned to the house and acted like an innocent bystander and told the police that she worked for the couple. She played the sorry victim that had lost good friends. She told the police that the old couple were loving, nice, caring people, that she had no idea what anyone would want to kill them. At that point, she slowly walked to the house, saying she wished to make sure no one had hurt the old woman's precious doll collection. When she got to the talking doll, she picked it up and pulled the cord.
"Hello."
It said. She pulled the cord again, and it said,
"Why did you kill my mama?"
The maid looked horrified.
"What did you just say?"
"Why did you kill my mama?"
asked the doll. The maid stared in shock. She kept pulling the cord.
"Why did you kill my mama? She was a nice mama. I loved her very much. Why did you kill my mama?"
The maid stared at the doll. She could not believe this was happening. The doll screamed. The maid threw it to the ground and ran from the house. The next morning, the maid was found dead in her bed. In her arms was the talking doll. When investigators pulled the cord on the doll's back, it just kept repeating,
"She killed my mama. She killed my mama. She killed my mama."
Alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, although... yeah.
You thought.
Bye!
How am I doing?
How am I doing?
Why'd you kill my mama, bitch?
Am I spitting?
Yeah.